The board meeting is order. The record show all Aldermen are present. Mr. Payne is going to lead us in the invocation and all the burgess and the pledge. Please stand.
Bow our heads, please. Lord God, as we take this time before Thanksgiving, the time that we give you thanks. Thanks for our good community, our good citizens. Thank you for our health, our friends, and our relatives. And anyone who needs prayer in this world, may you be with them. As we meet tonight, may this meeting be beneficial and helpful to all our citizens. God be with us all. God bless us all. For all these things we ask in your holy name.
Need a motion to accept the agenda.
Second.
Mr. Thompson, Mr. Blackman, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is agenda public comment. The public is invited to address the board. Up to 3 minutes each on regarding items listed on this agenda. Please begin by identifying yourself and the agenda item you are speaking to. There are 2 comments on each side of the agenda item.
Mayor Holloway and members of the Board of Aldermen. My name is David Allen, and I reside with my wife, my young lad, and all the flowers in our yard at 407 General Pershing. My paternal grandparents came to Ocean Springs in the mid-1930s. My family's been a part of the city since. I am here to speak strongly in favor of the resolution rescinding the April 4th, 2023 resolution designated slum and blighted areas and rescinding the city's proposed urban renewal plan. And I am not alone in this city being opposed to the urban renewal plan, as I'm sure y'all are aware. It is my opinion that the plan was not well thought out, and I believe it is contrary to the history and charm of our beautiful, wonderful city. Further, I do not believe that the April 4th, 2023 plan, which was adopted, complied with the provisions of section 433513A of the Mississippi Code, which requires, and I quote, "The local governing body should not approve an urban renewal plan until a general plan for the municipality has been prepared." On page 2 of the urban renewal plan, it states, "The urban renewal plan has been developed in conformity with the goals and objectives of the City of Ocean Springs Comprehensive Plan, which is the official plan for the city. The urban renewal plan incorporates by reference the goals and objectives of the City of Ocean Springs Comprehensive Plan." This is not true. I call your attention to goal number 1, land use, policies 1.6 and policies 1.8. Goal 3, downtown central business district general. Goal 4, neighborhood and housing, including policies 4.7, 4.9, and 4.11. Goal 7, historic resources generally. A bit of history. For 20 years, I was a partner in the law firm of Page Menino in Biloxi. During that time, I participated in the City of Biloxi's urban renewal plan concerning Kyvet Street in Biloxi. I saw firsthand the problems that can and do arise in conjunction with urban renewal plans. I participated in eminent domain actions. I participated in voluntary sales. I witnessed displaced businesses and individuals. It was not a pleasant tale. And to this day, there are still vacant areas along Kyvet Street which have not been developed, some of which have not even been sold by the city. I am seriously concerned that the urban renewal area 4 of the urban renewal plan is being used to destroy the historically black portion of our fine city. Y'all are familiar with what area
That's
4
3
is.
minutes.
Thank you.
Next, person like to speak to an agenda item.
Good evening, Esther Payton, 924 Cash Alley. As it relates to the urban renewal development plan and revising it, I have a question as it relates to that. For the residential areas as well as the businesses, with this new revised urban renewal development plan or map that you all have put out, will the citizens and the businesses be informed that their properties are being deemed blight or slum? Because it's very contradictory as relates to the law. They give you 10 days to respond. But how are you going to respond if you don't know? The citizens and the businesses, they should receive a letter, a certified letter by mail. That's no more than common courtesy. That's how you do business. And these are citizens, these are tax-paying citizens of the city of Ocean Springs. And as I stated, and I've been stating since the beginning, and you have stated that yes, you all made some mistakes, and you all are going back to try and fix those mistakes. Think about, it's not about money. And like I said about Area 4, where our properties are, it's never been about money for us, because these are our properties. These are legacies, history that our grandparents and forefathers have left for us that has gone down from generation to generation. When you deem someone's property blight or slum, you don't understand how that affects the household, how that affects the property. So moving forward with this new revised urban renewal development plan, take into consideration the people, the labels that you put out there, open communication, lines of communication, transparency, being honest and forthcoming with the citizens, whether they're residential or whether they're business owners. Because I grew up in the city of Ocean Springs, and then as an adult, I moved to the county. But I grew up in this city. I love the city of Ocean Springs. But some of the things that are going on, they're not pleasing to me. They're not pleasing to the citizens of Ocean Springs, nor the citizens throughout Mississippi, as well as throughout the nation, because we have spoken to quite a few people outside of Mississippi, and they're not pleased. So please, I ask of you, when you move forward, take all of that into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. There will be a letter going out, and it will go out, start going out tomorrow. Anyone else would like to speak to the agenda item? Okay, moving on to old business. Next item on the agenda is adopt a resolution rescinding the April 4th, 2023 resolution designated slum and blighted areas and rescinding the city's proposed urban renewal plan. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second Blackman, second by Mr. Aldermen. Need a roll call, please.
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye. Okay, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is discussion of a new proposed urban renewal map, area, and timeline. Patty, you want to give the timeline?
Okay, to try to make sure that everybody knows what's going on and all, I'm gonna go ahead and read the timeline for the new plan. So tonight, we just passed the resolution voiding the old urban renewal map and the plan that would remove all designations of slum and blight. Tomorrow, we've been working on the letters. We plan to mail the letters to all the property owners acknowledging that their property is in the new urban renewal map. If you know your property is in the map and you haven't received the letter from the city by next Tuesday, please call us. That just means we don't have good mailing information. December the 5th, at that board meeting, we will adopt the new map and resolution that will set the public hearing for the January 2nd board meeting. The notice will be published in the Sun Herald on December the 13th, the 20th, and the 27th. December the 5th will start the official 10-day notice for the property owners to appeal being in that map area. So, everybody heard me that December 5th will start the 10-day official notice. December the 12th, the Planning Commission meeting will be here at City Hall. The plan and the map will be sent to the planning commissioners after the December 5th adoption for them to review and make the determination on whether the plan fits into the current comprehensive plan. December the 19th board meeting, if the Planning Commission makes the recommendation, then the board will formally accept the recommendation, and then we will prepare for the public hearing on January the 2nd for the new urban renewal plan. At the January 2nd board meeting, the urban renewal public hearing will be here, and then the possible adoption of the new plan. So if I need to send that, I think Raven intends to send all of these dates and all out with the letters.
When is the slum and blight designation? Like, don't y'all have to do a new slum and blight designation?
So when the plan rolls out, we don't do, when the plan rolls out and they talk about the properties, if there was something in there, it would be in the plan. We don't have that tonight.
Thank you, Ben.
The
Hey, does the board have any?
public hearings are be here.
Yes.
Can we, what about the occupancy if people want to come like we did at the last meeting? Can we have it back at the city center?
No, we're not doing it at the city center. We're having it here.
Wow. So you just gonna refuse people to come in?
We have an occupancy limit. We plan on taking a lot of the issues out of this new plan. We shouldn't have any issues like we had with the previous plan. And I think once you see it, you will understand.
But Mayor, I'm sorry. But Mayor, that doesn't mean that people should be involved. And this room here will not hold everybody. So the way they were putting people out the last time, throwing them out, that's not right.
This is gonna be a regular board meeting, man. We're gonna have a public hearing like we always have public hearings. So this is the plan now. If we change the location, we'll announce it.
Thank
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is new business. To appeal the ZAB recommendation, request for a variance to the minimum front yard setback requirement to allow a porch to encroach 1 foot 8 inches into the required front yard at 503 Porter Avenue, PID 60225050.050. So, is anybody have any questions? Wade is here to answer them. Wade, you want to just kind of give us a
this is the, can you scroll down to the little back? This is the site is the Lazy Oak Restaurant at Porter and Adelia in Park. And the specific request is the operator owner of the restaurant wants to construct a covered porch outdoor seating area over it. And because of a existing ADA ramp, they are proposing to maximize the area of it. They'd like to be able to extend the support column for it out beyond the, minimum setback, still building district. The, columns are 12 by 12 in size. Going up is the, yeah, there we go. Thank you. The, yellow line is, where the overhang is proposed. The little green dots, squares are the, support columns. When the zoning board discussed this pretty thoroughly and concluded that they could support the variance for the maximum 25%, which is the maximum that year, by development code allows. And this would allow the westernmost, which is column is there closest to the handicap ramp, to extend out the 15 inches in setback. I think that the others are, we could see the justification for the other columns to be extending out, so they did support the 25% variance for the westernmost. However, the 18 inches and the output one was beyond what the development code will allow. So that's why this other board did support the 25% 12-inch variance for the 15-inch for that western.
Is the business owner here?
I don't see it. He was notified of the meeting, but I don't see him.
Anybody else have any questions?
So this accommodates the ADA ramp, and it does not impede any sidewalk access or?
No, we're not impeding the public sidewalk access. We make more accommodation for the existing ADA ramp.
So without this, they cannot accomplish what they're trying to do without them.
They can accomplish part of what they want to do. They will be able to construct the covered area, but would not be quite as far as they originally wanted.
But the thing is, Wade, if you're talking about tables and stuff, that makes a big, that's one thing when it comes to measurements. When you're talking about inches, I mean, I just don't know where the benefit would be to go over the 25%,
You're talking about 5 inches.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure that would really make that. That's why I was hoping the owner would be here to discuss it, but being that Porter's, being the building is where it is and just a few inches it is, I just don't see where we need to go over 25%.
It is not, their goal is to maximize the area that's covered. Again, talking a few inches in this case. And we point out that under the development regulations, they can extend the overhang out more than what they're proposing here. They get some wind issues, but they can still achieve the coverage that they're looking for.
When you say that they're getting some wind issues, you're talking about just building to 160 mile an hour wind load?
I'm not,
Is that 150 or 160 right there?
I feel like we need to stick with the 25%. Y'all will think last month or so, we did the same, had the same situation on Bill's Avenue, we stuck with 25%. And so I think we set a precedent, we started expanding this thing. So I for one feel like 25% is appropriate. I feel like the building owner can adjust this 6'5", 4, 5, 6 inches, 8 inches.
I mean, he's done a good job as a restaurant owner. Like he's busy and they're doing good. And I think 25%, like I said, would be a reasonable. So I'll make a motion that we that we approve 25% 503 Porter Avenue, parcel ID 60225050.050.
Yeah, motion by Mr. Alderman. Second by Mr. Blackman. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is consent agenda. Does anyone have anything to pull? Motion to approve the consent agenda. Second by Mr. Wade. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. All the reports, does anybody have anything to pull from the document claims?
Make a motion, we approve docket claims, all expenditures are appropriate and authorized by law and spread summary on the minutes.
Motion by Mr. Alderman, second by Mr. Cox, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Anyone have any questions about the sewer adjustments? Is there a motion to authorize this?
Make a motion to authorize the sewer adjustments if the customers did not receive the independent utility.
Motion by Mr. Blackman.
Well, one of them didn't, I didn't see where they established that it didn't go down the sewer, that last one.
We have a second first. We can discuss second that motion. Second by Mr. Cox, okay.
Yeah, the one at, Vermont Avenue,
That was determined it was a faucet on the back porch underneath the house.
That's clean, still
Yeah.
is that what it was? Okay,
Yes.
because it says,
They told me there was a faucet on the back side of the house.
okay, because I'm gonna read it, it said sink, which would imply that,
I think it might have been.
No, it was good.
okay.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Motion carries. Approved budget amendment to purchase public workshop, welding machine and air compressor. Any questions about that?
Motion to approve the adjustment there.
Motion by Mr. Cox, second by Mr. Wade, all in favor?
I got one question. Is that replacing equipment?
It's a new compressor. Infrastructure modernization, 2018 update,
I don't have it in front of me. I think I was just explaining the rules and that we met our quota and that we'll receive all that we will be able to receive. But I don't have the document in front of me. I wrote it 2 weeks ago, so I think I was just updating that they had changed a little bit of the rules again. And I like to update it on the agenda, that way there's a history. But we did meet our quota to get our full amount of the sales tax organization.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions, comments? Tree appeal on 2024 Longwood Drive. Darrell?
Yes, the homeowner at 2824 Longwood had turned in a tree, permit to remove the tree or trim the limbs, overhanging his structures to satisfy the Mississippi Windstorm insurance. I went out and looked at the limbs and the tree, and I looked at the letter stating it's overhanging limbs or / trees within 5 distance of the dwelling. What I basically did was look at possibly the limb that can touch it, the structure whenever a wind event, and allow them to move anything 6 to 8 feet above to permit that. I don't know if the gentleman's got something different from it or not, or if he's here.
Yeah. You might just come up here.
Yes, sir. Come to the microphone.
Ladies and gentlemen of the board, my name is Bob Oakland, and you're looking at a unicorn. 30 years ago, the Air Force picked Mississippi. We didn't. Seemed to have worked out well. The house that we live in now is the first house we ever bought, and we're still So over the years, we have done a lot of capital improvements. When we first got here, 17 trees on the property. 13 of them were pine. 1 sweet gum, we all know how those go. A magnolia, a live oak, and a water oak. So needless to say, after the first winter when the pine trees dropped their needles, 65, 55 gallon bags later, we got rid of what we could get rid of. And so we're down to 1 tree. And that's basically a loaded gun waiting for a wind event to trigger it. I have gone to my neighbors. We have taken trees down that were mainly pine trees that would affect our property and theirs too. So we paid for our neighbors behind us and on the other side of us. My daughter, she was 4 years old, walking out on our patio. The neighbor's pine tree, which it was on their property, but the limbs were over on ours. A 4-foot limb just fell. Waterlogged, wind blows, they come down. Missed our daughter by a few feet. And I'm not against trees. I'm against trees that can do damage to your property. This wouldn't really be an issue. We had Nationwide for 30 years. July, we got a letter. They made a court decision. Okay, $2,400 we were paying for our house insurance. That included wind and hail. Then I think 1,100 of that was just fire and liability. In 2009, I did a mitigation letter that Nationwide sent to us. I don't know if you got the package that I gave to Darla. Oh, okay. So this is the mitigation letter. Nationwide was not focused on the trees. It was not an issue with them. They were focused on the house. So I've written in here all the things we did to our house and our property. And I highlighted tree mitigation efforts. I'm just trying to prevent dealing with insurance, dealing with not having a home, and maybe if our home survives, I can help somebody else whose their house didn't survive. So we went from $2,400 a year for insurance for the house. That's wind and hail, and then fire and all their repairs. Now it's $4,000 just for wind and hail. Okay. We own our home. I ran into a guy who's a small business owner in the HVAC, local. He owns some rentals, owns them outright. The wind people said 12 grand. And guess what he's doing? He's rolling the dice. He knows contractors. He's in the business so he can get things done. A lot of us can't. I heard some people, they want to leave their property as a legacy. We've been in 30 years. First house we ever bought, we're still in it. And our kids one's in Montgomery, one's in Port St. Lucie. I can't leave the house to them. And all I need is Mr. Cox to raise his haircut rates to $20 and we're punching. People are doing without. They're gambling. They're rolling the dice on their house. They would not go to a casino. They won't bet on sports teams, but they're betting their livelihood with their house. People, I guarantee you, there's probably most people here don't even have life insurance because it's. Right.
We understand the insurance market. We really do.
And it's not going to get better.
It's not going to get better. Why don't you go ahead and explain what you want to do?
But I want to take it down. To be honest with you, I am dealing with the wind and hail folks. It's very vague, and inspectors tend, nothing against them, but they don't like you to be around. Like fall distance. I was assuming fall distance that the wind and hail people talk about. I'm thinking of a limb over the structure. I gave my insurance agent, because the wind and hail people don't want to talk to the owners. You got to go through the insurance agent. So I said, well, what's fault distance? Is that a limb overhanging? And come to find out, it's the tree itself. Well, that tree is, I built a storage building, and my storage building is 13 feet away from the tree, and the Winded Ham people have a 15-foot fall distance. So we found out the fall distance doesn't necessarily mean a branch or a limb, it's the tree. So at least my storage building's in that distance. Also, I couldn't even get them to decide, well, when does a branch become a limb? Okay, because right, we all know what branches kind of look like, and they gave him that for homework. Found out that they considered limbs and branches the same thing. So
Stop you there, second. Does anybody have any questions?
right now, it's a loaded gun, and I don't know when it's gonna go off, and it's the only thing left in our yard.
Daryl, you recommend that the tree just be trimmed, just put back?
It's unclear as to what his insurance company's telling, because the letter I have, it states limbs overhanging.
I see what the letter
But
says.
every tree in the yard would have,
Cut the tree down.
right.
I mean, they're vague, and they say recommend, and the letter says recommend, doesn't say anything it's gonna be.
You want to see if you can get a little bit more, information from the WIFO?
They're not gonna get it, I can't get it from them directly.
That's what I'm confused, is it didn't say remove tree. It
You
said
know
it
this
really
to
told
develop
them it's
more.
all got all the limbs on. There's nothing left on that side of the tree at all. In fact, it won't be anything up on this side, because the other side goes to the house.
And the way everything is, everything grows to everything leans south. It follows the sun, so all our neighbor directly behind us, even my flowers in the flower bed, they go that way.
I think everybody's
Okay,
got insurance.
But I'm not looking for a decision now. If you need to chew on this for a week or so, I'm good with that, but I essentially, I want the tree gone.
So this Mr. Hawkins, in 3888, where it says call with any concerns, and you're not able to get through this fellow?
Mr. Hawkins?
Matthew
Oh,
T. Hawkins.
That's the insurance guy. I gave them homework, and they got back with me.
What they tell you about the tree?
They didn't say, you're not gonna hear Mississippi Windpool say to take it down. Unless it's against the house, or they're kind of leaving it to you. They're just, again, the vagueness, I'm not gonna commit. Now, here, to soften the blow, and at the end of my letter, I'm willing to plant live oaks elsewhere on public property in the city. I don't want to give this headache to a private property owner. Because eventually it's going to be an issue for them. But I am more than willing to buy, pay, I'll plant them, whatever.
We got it, thank you, sir.
All right.
I don't think the insurance is gonna go down even if you cut it.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
Insurance is a problem.
That's right, but here's the thing. That tree's gone, and I got an ulterior motive. That tree goes because I've done everything I can, even with our neighbors. I'm rolling the dice. Okay, and we can self-insure to a point. Okay, I'm 64 years old. I'm at an age where I'm hopefully,
Okay, all right.
okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Anybody have any questions, comments? Okay, does anybody have an opinion on this tree?
I would like to take a question.
Table
Second. Second by Mr. Alderman. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. In the meantime, let's do some investigating.
Is that something we bring it back up, or you're gonna tell us for free?
No, just bring it up for the next meeting.
You want it to come back up to?
Yeah.
General public comment, anybody from the public is invited to address the board for 5 minutes each, for a maximum of 30 minutes. Only 2 speakers will be allowed. First side of each issue, please identify yourself clearly at the podium before speaking. Please, anybody to address the board.
Good evening, James Lewis, 805 Canterbury Drive. I've sitting and listened to the dates that were thrown out, and I think the next public forum for the urban new plan is going to be the 2nd of January, is that correct?
I'm sorry, for the hearing, Mr. Lewis, or
For
just the
public-
next thing we're talking about?
Public hearing,
Public hearing, January 2nd.
right. I respectfully ask that you all reconsider to move this from this forum here to the Civic Center. Now, I do know that you have a church that has a contract there. I also know that that church said that in case the city needs to go back in and use that facility, that they would not be objecting to you all coming in for that. This is very important to all the citizens of Ocean Springs, and this venue is just not large enough to go back in and let the public come in and understand exactly what's going on. We'll talk about transparency. Let's be transparent. Let's include the public and let them understand exactly what you guys are doing. Thank you.
Anyone else?
My name's Nolan Ryder. I'm a resident of Ward 4. I'm just trying to get a little clarification. It says, and I took a screenshot, December 5th, regular board meeting. Adopt the new map and resolution for the public hearing for the new plan. So at that December 5th meeting, when you adopt the new maps, does that declare the new map area as slum and blight?
It does not declare every parcel in that area slum and blight. No.
But some parcels are
Some
gonna,
parcels would. have
How-
designation.
how are we supposed to determine which parcels are slum and blight from the map that you're just gonna adopt?
There'll be a listing of them.
Okay,
Each parcel will have a parcel number, address, and if there's any issue with the property, it'll state it. If there's no issue with the property, it'll state no issue with the property.
okay, so just those parcels that are specifically designated will be part of slum and blight? Just those, not the entire area?
That's correct.
Okay, so just those very specific properties that you're gonna list?
No, we're gonna list every parcel in the zone. And each parcel will have a description. If there's no issue with the parcel in that zone, it'll just say, no recommendation.
Okay, so the previous maps you had, those areas were designated slum and blight.
But
You will
every-
not-
But not every parcel in that area was somewhat blighted.
But the entire area was designated slum and blight, therefore they were, up for eminent domain by the city. What I'm trying to specifically get from you is how is the new map going to, other than the opt-out properties aren't in it, how is that going to, are these new maps, only specific properties in them are going to be up for eminent domain because you will designate those specific properties?
Nothing is up for,
Slum and,
nothing is up for eminent domain.
well, that's not what the previous plan said, and it's hard to know that because you haven't given us a plan to look at for this new plan.
It's because we haven't made it yet.
You know, well, that plan has to be available December 5th.
Okay, so when it's adopted December 5th, we'll know which areas are slum and blight on December 5th.
Yes, ma'am, the plan won't be adopted that day, just the resolution that sets the public hearing and the map. The plan itself will not be adopted that day.
Okay,
The
so
plan
this
will be available.
Okay, so the slum and blight designation is not gonna happen December 5th. It will happen after the public hearing? When does the slum and blight designation happen?
The plan, if there's a parcel in that plan that is designated that, you would be able to read it on that plan at that time. The plan has to be available, the PID of every property.
So when the plan is adopted, that's when those properties become slum and blight?
It won't be adopted after the public hearing. It's just available for people to review from December 5th.
So the January 2nd is when those properties become slum and blight?
They don't. The other properties were never slum and blight because it was never adopted. It is confusing.
It is very confusing. Can you just tell me when the slum and blight designation is going to go into effect for the new properties?
Not until after the public hearing and the board votes on the plan. So all they're doing December 5th is accepting the maps, doing the resolution to set the public hearing for January 2nd. The plan will be available for review with all the parcels in the areas.
And those specific parcels will be designated slum and blight?
If they're going to be. Yes.
Okay, and then is there gonna be a clause about eminent domain like the previous plan had?
No.
Okay.
The city has no intentions of doing that domain, and that won't be mentioned in the plan. Anyone else have, comment?
I have a question. Define to me slum and blight.
Exactly. That's what I
What
want.
is that?
That's what I want.
Stacy Ely, and I live in Ocean Springs. I would rather you not know my address because I'm afraid you'll come and do my property slum and blight. Not gonna lie to you, but I want to know, and I'll tell you why. Our church, I heard tonight, who has a food pantry that feeds people 3 days out of the week, and have been there all day today giving out Thanksgiving dinners to people. I've heard they're on the thing for slum and blight. Ocean Springs Church of Christ. You want to explain to me how? What's wrong with that property? Is it a prime property?
Where is it?
Yeah.
It's on Washington, behind Burger King, down the road from his house.
Yes, it's prime
It's not
property.
in it. It's not in it.
Oh, it's not? Well, somebody told the preacher that it was.
There's a lot of misinformation going on.
He got a memo. I don't know who sent it, but he called me tonight. So I just got off work. They're out there feeding people, but I want to know what's the definition. Definition.
Church is
Slum.
not it.
Well, not just the church, but all these people here. This is a slum. What's a slum?
Mayor, let me address a couple issues here. This is all defined in statutes, basically. Be slum, or you cannot have an urban renewal plan unless there are areas in the city that are determined to be blighted or slum.
Which
And
means,
blighted or slum, it's a long list of things. It could be disrepair.
okay.
It could be cleanliness. It could be a health hazard because of things in the yard. It could be that it's not being used to its best use.
Wait,
There's a
so
large-
sorry, y'all, I tried.
Time we're going.
Mayor, can I
You said what?
address the eminent domain? The statutes in Mississippi allow or require in an urban renewal plan that the city or the redevelopment authority has the right of eminent domain. And that comes from some federal laws that says if you don't have it, you're not entitled to all these millions and millions of dollars of grants.
That's
But the truth is, here's the truth. I've been on this board of my firm for 26 years.
Okay. Too long.
In 26 years, I want to ask you, how many times has the city of Ocean Springs ever attempted the first eminent domain of anybody's property in the city? And the answer is one. And that was Public Works, because the owner of the property, Public Works, asked us to eminent domain. They requested we do that. Now, you may have heard rumors out there about other things. I can tell you, for 26 years, the city of Ocean Springs, besides Public Works, has never filed a single eminent domain. And you keep hearing over and over again, there is no intention to change that.
Why was that worded?
Because if we don't put that in there, we don't get the grants. That's all I think.
Mr. Myers, I'm Katie Gallo. I live at 1219 Parktown Drive. What are we doing about our flooding? 42 years is a long time.
42 years is a long time, yes, ma'am, and they clean your ditches on a regular basis. You keep referencing this money. We have done ditch projects in the Parktown area and the Trentwood area. And
What about Lakeview?
Lakeview was not in that particular project, but the ditches are cleaned on a regular basis, Miss Katie. Unfortunately, that neighborhood was built when it was in the county. There wasn't the standards that we have in place today. Unfortunately, we do the best we can with what they have, but I know one issue, and I would like to see people stop doing that, is people blowing their leaves in the street. Those leaves wash into the storm drain. It was just a few years ago, I happened to be driving through Parktown and somebody had thrown a cigarette that went in the storm drain and all the leaves in there. I had to call the fire department because the storm drain was on fire from all the leaves in there. But, our Public Works is very diligent. Unfortunately, Mr. Ladner's not here tonight. He's on vacation for Thanksgiving. But, they clean those ditches on a regular basis.
Okay, April, we flooded that. Okay, people's houses. April the 10th, the big ice big rain. And, well,
Did they call the city? Because I did not hear that.
no. We was out there at 1 o'clock, 1:48 in the
Yeah,
morning.
it's someone's house.
1:48 in the morning, we was out there. My friend Linda was coming down the street to check things out with us, see what was okay. But have you ever been out there when it rained, when all that water is up and now the back, that ditch in the back, goes in down, come around Walmart there? It doesn't do that. You know where it does? It meets the front and the back. Now the water is coming up in our yard from there. We're gonna flood. You need to come out there when it rains.
I have been out there, Miss Katie, and it is rare. It's on, when it floods, it is because we have what is deemed a rain event where the water, where the rain just comes down.
Oh, yeah. I guarantee you, your house or anybody else's house, you would have it fixed. Let me show you my driveway. Here's my driveway now. Have y'all been out there to see that and fix it? That's what water will do for you.
That's what putting the
The
driveway
tree.
next to the tree will do for you, Katie. We've already showed you.
That ain't my tree. But that's not my tree. Here's the water right here.
That's 3 minutes, Miss Katie.
That tree is not mine.
Okay.
So what y'all gonna do?
I'll
Now
take it.
I've got roots going underneath my house.
I'll take it
We've been
down.
through this a lot. We'll come out there and look at it.
It's a mess. You see it?
Yes, Miss Katie, and we've looked, that tree is on the property line. It's partially yours,
The
partially
tree
the
is not
neighbor's.
mine. Thank you.
Okay, well, it's not the city's either.
Does anyone else
Well,
like to
it's
address
sitting
the
on the
board?
cover. This is when I moved out there. And this is where I'm at now, water all in the street. And nothing has been done.
That's all you live in.
Good evening. My name is Renee Aldermen. I live at 916 State Street. And I came back to the South to renovate my family home and to move here with my husband, who I made several sacrifices because he couldn't retire, so he's in California. I'm here, and I go back and forth. And I heard, I want to ask a little bit, I want to be really clear about this in my own mind. First of all, we opted out, those of us who opted out, we opted out of the urban renewal plan. And I'm assuming the only plan on the table at the time we opted out was the April 4th urban renewal plan. So now we're going to have a new urban renewal plan, which we haven't opted out of because it didn't exist, and it doesn't exist now. Will we have an opportunity to opt out of that one?
You won't be in this.
We won't be in it at all? Okay. The second thing is, I heard your attorney say, when he gave his definition, I guess, of slum and blight, I heard you say, sir, underused or not used for the purposes of what?
There's various definitions, it's not as high as economic use.
Yeah.
And that would be more for commercial property.
Okay, that's okay, because I was wondering, because you may decide that my living there is not its highest use. But, so I want to make sure of that. And just because someone's never done something, is always, like my doctor told me when I told her I never had allergies before. She said there's a first time for everything. So there's a second time for everything as well. So it doesn't warm my heart that you've never used it because somebody can come along and use it. The last thing I want to ask about is slum and blight designation. I know is the legal basis for you to be able to get your urban renewal plan. And this, oh gosh,
Hurry up,
okay, I got 25 seconds. Let's see if I can remember. 25 seconds. Yeah, I'll call you tomorrow if I remember it. But I just want to be clear about these things with you guys, with us, so we're all together on this. We're all good.
If you have any questions, do you remember what you want to say, you come see me tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Moving on to Mayor and Alderman's forum, Alderman Burgess.
I am old.
Good.
I'm good there. I need to make a quick motion to waive the rental fee for the Civic Center this Thursday for Tim and Lisa Wool to provide Thanksgiving dinner for all the first responders.
Mr. Cox, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Alderman Goodby.
Yeah, I've got some motions I need to make for the police department. Going to make a motion to accept the retirement letter from Sergeant Chris Meadows. His retirement effective November 30th, 2023. Authorize Sergeant Meadows to purchase his duty weapon from the city for $1 as authorized by Mississippi State Statute 45-9-131 and allow the chief to start the process to fill that position.
Mr. Cox, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Make a motion to authorize the employment of Brandon Wally, patrolman, red pay $21 an hour, patrolman step 2, probation 12 months, start date on or about December 13th, 2023.
CNP, Mr. Blackman, all in favor?
Aye.
Carries.
And he is a Mississippi certified police officer, so he'll be able to hit the ground running. Make a motion to authorize the employment of Daniel Osborne, patrolman, rate of pay $19.50 per hour, patrolman step 1, probation 12 months, start date on or about November 27, 2023, contingent upon successful completion of all pre-employment requirements.
Second by Mr. NB, second by Mr. Blackman, all in favor?
Aye.
Carries.
Make a motion to authorize the employment of Caitlin, I'm just gonna say Caitlin, because I have no idea how to pronounce her name. I'm sorry. Mamiser, okay, Caitlin Mamiser, position part-time dispatcher, pay $15 per hour, dispatcher step 1, starting on or about November 27th, 2023, contingent upon successful completion of all pre-employment requirements.
Second, Mr. NB, second by Mr. Blackman, all in favor?
Aye.
Carries.
I'm sorry, I did want to say happy Thanksgiving, everyone. They have a good, safe holiday.
I would just like to request, Mayor, that if we possibly can move that meeting, May 2nd, to the civic center. I think it would be the right thing to do.
Thank you, Mr.
Obviously, there's a lot of people, whether they agree or disagree, we'd like to take that into consideration.
Two things, comprehensive plan community meeting will be at the Civic Center on November the 28th at 6 p.m. This is for the community, it's not for the board or myself, it's for y'all to share your concerns, thoughts, and plans for the new comprehensive plan. This will be the second one we will hold. And on a much lighter note, the Christmas lights will come on Washington Avenue on Friday evening. So maybe that'll put everybody.
Who seconded the motion, move the meeting?
We didn't got that request. That's all we have. There'll be no executive session tonight.
Any, the attorney has some.
I do have one thing, Mayor, is Miss Elizabeth Bader-Hosey sent a letter, I think, to maybe some of the members in Liberty a copy. And she's unable to be here tonight. She is an attorney suing the city. And she asked if we would make this part of not the record per se, but if she had been able to come, this is what she would have said. So in light of that, I told her we could do that. So this goes to the ask, and I just gave it to the clerk, what she would have said if she'd been able to be.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second, it'd be second by Mr. Austin, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries, we're adjourned.
Okay.